Hi, I'm Carrie Cordy. It is, what is it, the 23rd Friday of February 2018. Um, so I'm up here at the ranch. There was no work at the fishery. So, looks like crab season's basically over. It's the wrap up end of the season. And the season didn't begin until the beginning of this month, and that's bad. The crab season's supposed to start at the end of November, the beginning of December. I think it's December 1st when yada yada yada. But because there was a disease or a fungus, something like that, at the beginning, so they couldn't do nothing until it cleared up, until they yada yada. And then when it did, they the fisher the crab boats and the companies were fighting over the prize, and so it took them even longer to begin it. And so, I haven't gotten any. I don't think I've had a full shift this week. Or I should say this pay period, and I've had a couple of days off, and the days that I've worked have been short days. Granted, there was a 9-hour one in there, but it just makes it that much harder. So I'm struggling with that. And I didn't get to the ranch here as early as I would like. I took some time and I went and visited a friend I haven't talked to for over a year, probably almost two. And he's a guy that used to work with my dad. My dad was a teacher. And so, anyway, him and my dad were kind of friends. And so, my dad's moved away, yada yada. And he's always been a nice guy. And we were visiting, and we ended up visiting really, for a few hours. And it was really, really nice. And it turns out that he has a, what did he say that his grandson, granddaughter, basically it's just coming out now that they always thought he was gay, and he's gonna be getting married to a guy, and just kind of coming out with it. So he was asking all sorts of questions, and so he has let a few people with trailers kind of stay on his property here and there. But I've known that he's gotten burned when he has, and from shitty people. So I've wanted to ask him, but I hadn't. So I did ask him, which is why I went out of my way, and I could earn money. I could have been earning money that time. But it was, coming down to the wire. I really need to do the difficult things and reach out and contact people that could help. So when I brought it up to him, he's like, I don't know, let me get your number. And he's like, I've been burned before. It's like, yeah, that's kind of why I really didn't want to bring it up to you. And, so I told him, it's if you don't, you don't. And I ain't gonna hold a grudge. I ain't gonna be mad about that. I know you've been burned. I completely understand it. And I'd be just a total bitch if I got pissed at you not wanting to get burned again. And I think that's a part of me um that people like. I can see things from another perspective. Have compassion towards that, and not just get desperately involved with people doing what I want, what I think is best in the moment or right. And so he's like, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about it. And I was like, it wouldn't be long term. It would be, I wouldn't want to do it, but if I don't have anywhere to put my trailer, I need a place to put my trailer. I told him about this thing that I've signed up for that'll pay move-in costs, but I'm waiting for him to approve it or deny it or whatever, make their decision. And so when I was sitting there, we were just talking, and I wasn't, anything. I wasn't rubbing my nose, I wasn't blowing it, and I was just sitting there and I caught as much of it as I could and ran out to my car and grabbed a tissue that I had and took care of it. By the way, that's number 18 in 3 days. And so like he was saying, I'm surprised. You were just sitting there and it just came shooting out of your nose. I mean, it just wasn't a drip. It was just, it was just like a tiny little stream, and it was running kind of fast. And yeah, I don't know about this one. Never's happened to me before. These bloody noses. So that was a nice visit I had there. And another thing is when my dad still lived here, and the last time that not the last, but he had come by my dad's, and this is when I had sciatica the second time. And so I was telling him about how I didn't have back problems anymore. And so he asked, like, why do you think that is? And I'm like, it's all about my posture. Yeah, it was the way I was walking and holding myself with a completely defeated attitude. And he's like, yeah, I remember when you couldn't even get off the floor. Because he was visiting and I could get off the floor to go from my bedroom to outside in the sun to where him and my dad were talking, so I could at least have some kind of interaction with other humans. And yeah, walking from my bedroom to outside was a massive chore. I couldn't stay standing up for like more than a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes if I was really stretching it. Shit was really goddamn painful. I mean, really painful. And, I've also had upper back and lower back problems in my life. It's funny how much posture and something like that can make that big of a difference. Yeah, I think that's about all I'm going to talk about today. Like, there was a couple other things I was wanting to talk about when I tried to making the videos yesterday. But ultimately, right now, I think that's what I need to deal with right now. Those were the things that I needed to bring up and to talk about. I'm going to start another coughing fit, so I'll talk to you later.